Does anyone else feel like life has turned into a monthly payment plan? Which poses the question, why does everything feel like a subscription? Let's talk about how we got here and what it's doing to us, and if there's any way to unsubscribe from basically, if not everything, mostly everything without going full off grid. First and foremost, everything is a subscription. If you look at some of your streaming services like Netflix, Paramount Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, Crunchyroll, Disney Plus, they all want you to commit at least $10 to $20 a month. That low tier, most of the time, that is including ads. And that sucks because if I'm paying you every month, I should be paying you not to have ads. But that's neither here nor there. And then they say, oh, well, if you don't want to see commercials, just pay us $20, $30 a month even. If I have to pay that around all of these different platforms, I'm basically paying a full month's worth of cable. You have softwares like Adobe Creative Cloud. You have editing apps like CapCut. Don't even get me started on them because I edited a whole video, which I will eventually drop on here. I did not use any premium features. I used all my footage, color graded, and when it was time to export my files, it basically said, oh, you have to upgrade to the Pro plan. And I was like, what do you mean? I used all my free features. Basically, it told me I had to pay them $19.99 for using my own WAV files that were imported from my camera. When I export my files, my camera exports the MP4 files and WAV files, which are essentially the sounds or the voiceovers. So when it creates that for me, it makes it so seamless and easy. I just imported that over to CapCut, and CapCut was like, no ma'am, no ham, no turkeys. We're not doing that. And you're gonna have to pay to use that. That was really the tip of the iceberg for me to finally look at, okay, what other editing apps can I start looking at to use? Because I'm not going to pay them every month just to edit my own footage. It's just absurd. You even have like certain cars that have a premium subscription to use certain things like, let's say for example, you want to listen to your music, you want to, get internet in your browser. There's like certain Audis that have some kind of subscription and you have to pay yearly or every month to access certain features. Tesla, for example, you have to pay a premium subscription, $9.99 every month, or you pay it by the year, and that is just to access your Spotify or your Apple CarPlay, or if you want to go on the internet. Some of those things are accessible when you're in park, but when you're driving, like certain things like traffic control, just certain features are only accessible when you're paying for premium features. You also have subscriptions with gaming. I have Xbox Game Pass, and I would love to play my Xbox games if I did not have to pay them every month. So I use a friend's Xbox Game Pass. But sometimes you just want to hop on the game after a long day, whether that's a long day of work, you worked out, it's just been busy. You just want to de-stress and just have a good time with your friends online. There's games like NBA 2K where you have to pay PlayStation Plus every month to play games online with your friends to play 2K. That is absurd to me. Games like 2K want you to buy VC just to upgrade their clothes or their shoes, their ratings, the way they make certain free throws. It is absolutely absurd. Then you have music. You have music like Spotify and Apple Music. You have to pay them every month. I pay for Spotify Duo, and I'm starting to notice gradually every year they keep increasing the price. For whatever reason, I have no idea. Nothing has changed. Why is it $16.99 just to hear my favorite playlist every day? Do you remember when we could just download our music, whether that was from, LimeWire or iTunes or whatever, and the music was just ours. We owned it. Whether you bought it, however you got your music, it was yours. You owned it. You could download it to your media player, your was it a the MP3 player? You could download it to your Zune. I used to download my music to my iPod when I had a PSP. Am I telling my age? It was just accessible. You didn't have to pay them every month just to watch your videos or listen to your music. It was just there. You could just go on there. You needed a memory card, obviously, but it was there and it was accessible for you. Brands are honestly framing convenience as a lifestyle. It's like, why own when you can just subscribe? It takes up no storage. It's easier to do. It's less of a hassle. All you have to do is pay us $15 a month and we'll do all the work for you. Like, what if I don't want to subscribe? What if I just want to hop on Spotify, play my music, go on my drive and call it a day? I remember one time Spotify tried to take money out and the money just never came out for I think a week or two. And they downgraded me to whatever the regular Spotify. And I was trying to play one of my playlists and I was like, how dare y'all? I've built these playlists, not y'all. That leads me into my next point, talking about subscription fatigue. So subscription fatigue is real. It is very, very real. And I think we are all very sick of subscriptions. Honestly, losing track of monthly charges, it's so annoying. It is very annoying because I honestly hate when I forget that something is coming out and I might have another bill that's coming out of that account the same night. And it's like, oh yeah, Apple iCloud, $9.99. You probably needed this to get lunch, but we're just going to take that money from you. We have access to your card. Or, I don't know, Apple Music, that comes out before your credit card payment. And it's like, wow, I know the date that it comes out, but it's just like, it still sucks. Cancel Apple iCloud. And when you do cancel it, it's like, oh man, I kind of need it. Oh, your storage is low. You need more storage. In order to get more storage, you have to delete a bunch of pictures and videos and text messages out of your phone. That takes hours out of your day. Not minutes. It takes hours because you might come across certain things. Oh, I really need that. Or I really don't want to get rid of that. Next thing you know, you give up. All right, let me just pay Apple iCloud or whatever. And what's crazy is I have a lot of those subscriptions. Well, I don't have as many as I used to, but when I did have more, I kept all of them in my budget tracker. So every month I would look on my calendar just to see, okay, what subscriptions are coming out this month or next week, or in the next 2 weeks when I get my paycheck. Honestly, I've tried to cut out most of them because when it's getting to a point where they add up to over $100, that's a problem. Why am I paying y'all every single month, let alone $50? Like, that should not be happening. That can go to groceries if we're being real. I feel like there's an emotional exhaustion from the constant reminders of payments you have to make. Having to make those decisions and micropayments every month is very draining, and it really does take a toll on your bank account when you might not realize it until you're on your last leg, and it's like, wow, I really needed that $9.99 Apple. You didn't have to take that from me today. It's like you feel locked in, but if you cancel them, it makes you feel like you're missing out. You're missing out on convenience. When you dig deeper, it's like, what really is convenience? Like, how can I weigh the pros and cons out of the subscriptions that I'm subscribed to? Which leads me into my next point. What are we really paying for? If we're being real, what are we paying for? I'm really about to go back old school and just get everything on my own. We're talking DVD players. We're talking iPods. We're talking the Wii, the PlayStation 2 even. That leads me to just bring up an example. During the holidays, I had subscribed to Disney Plus. So when I subscribed to it, it was $2.99. I'm thinking, oh wow. I hadn't subscribed to Disney Plus in probably over a year and a half because I was like, most of these shows, I'm not watching them right now, so I wasn't tripping on that. But I was like, sure, whatever. I subscribed to it because I really wanted to watch some movie during the holidays. I don't know, was it Preacher's Wife? I don't know. So a few weeks ago, I saw that Mufasa was on there. And I was like, oh my God, Mufasa. I saw this movie in the theaters with my sister. I would love to see it again. This would be great. I turned on the movie and I'm watching it, the other lion in the pack, the white lions, or basically the villains in the pack, they came and just started singing because they were getting ready to eat Scar's family, basically. I'm sorry if you have not seen this movie. I'm definitely spoiling it right now. So sorry. But he's singing to them, yada, yada, basically saying, I'm finna eat you and I'm finna take your land. Then when he's done singing, do you know this movie went on to a 1 minute and 30-second ad? And I just sat there because when movies are playing, I feel like they're at a certain volume. But when commercials come on, I feel like the volume is somehow on 50. And now I'm scrambling for my remote to turn the TV down because I'm like, how did this happen? I was just watching. And it made me realize, like, wow, has it been this long? I haven't had Disney Plus and realized that they've incorporated ads now. And I just thought that was so crazy because why am I getting ads in the middle of a movie? Now, I can understand a TV show. I will try to understand a TV show. But I'm watching a movie, a whole movie, and there's an ad. Not even like 15 seconds, not 30 seconds. We're talking a minute and 30 seconds long. And I was just so disgusted with Disney Plus that day. There were like 3 ads, when it's getting to the good part. I'm just like, another ad. Wow. Now I got to sit here, find something to do in the meantime until this ad is over. And it's just crazy to me because now I feel like they're everywhere, But honestly, I do feel like there's this perceived like convenience or like personalization or flexibility that companies try to advertise or communicate with the viewers. They try to advertise like, hey, we can make life easier for you. We can make this more accessible or more flexible for you if you just subscribe. Like Adobe Creative Cloud, you can access your files on your iPad, on your phone, your laptop, because they are making it accessible and flexible to the point where you don't have to download it from one device and copy and paste it to another device. It's already in the cloud, presumably. So they try to advertise it that way. The streaming services, I just don't get it. Even though they try to tell us, it's just a flexible way of just going about things, it's just a new form of dependency. I say that to say because companies love a recurring revenue model. They love it because it's cheaper for them. It saves them the hassle of wondering, oh, well, will this member or will this subscriber subscribe next month? And I think that's why they ask those questions. Oh, what do you use Photoshop for? Do you use it for your business? Do you use it for work? Et cetera, et cetera. They're asking you these questions so they can get a general idea of, okay, this is how long this person might potentially be subscribed for. And in reality, they rely on us because it's guaranteed funds. It's guaranteed and they know what to expect. I feel like it's a big scam. It is all a big scam because subscriptions are giving these companies structure and consistency. It's showing them, oh, this member has been consistent for 2 to 3 years paying for Disney Plus. We know we can get guaranteed funds from her because this is how long that she's been paying for this, which ties it all into the bigger picture of wanting to own things. And honestly, I want to own my movies, my music, my softwares, my editing softwares that I have. Like, I remember back in college when Photoshop was available and you could just buy it. You could just buy the package. All of those different editing apps were available to just purchase, and you didn't have to subscribe to them every month. I literally remember the day I tried to reinstall Photoshop and they were asking me to subscribe. And I was like on forums and Reddit pages and Google, like, hey, how can I buy Photoshop without subscribing to a subscription every month? I would like to own a lot of things. I do miss when I was able to own my favorite movies on DVD, and back when we had VHS and we could just pop that bad boy in there. If you needed to rewind the tape, you could. Remember when they had the extras in the menu of like movies like Shrek, where you could watch stuff like that and it was free because you bought the movie, so you could rewatch that stuff over again, like over and over again. Shrek had like American Idol in the menu extras. Happy Feet had extras. Like, all of our like old favorite movies just had so much in store when you just bought it outright. But going back to our editing apps, one brand that I do admire that hasn't changed much is Blackmagic. Blackmagic, they have a subscription model for their cloud service, but they have DaVinci Resolve, to where you can use the free version of the application, or you can pay basically $300 for all of its premium features. In the free DaVinci Resolve, you can do a lot. Like, you can do so much with that application alone. If I'm looking to see how to edit a certain thing or color grade a certain thing, just the speed or, titles or things like that, it just goes to show that not everybody needs a subscription, because some of my favorite creators are using DaVinci Resolve right now. And I think part of the reason is because it's free and it's something that we all are like realizing, hey, this is a big software, but there are videos teaching you on how to use it. And basically, you can learn from this app. You can learn from some of those YouTube videos. Blackmagic, their website has tutorials on how to use DaVinci Resolve. I do feel like capitalism has created this shift from ownership to this is what you have access to. And it's like, wow, why did we have to shift to that? I feel like that's more money coming out my pocket and more money going into theirs, if we're being real. And it just makes you wonder, like, why are companies monetizing the mundane? Why are we monetizing groceries? Why are we monetizing our games? Why are we monetizing our games? Why are we monetizing therapy apps? Why are we monetizing mindfulness? Why are we monetizing productivity? Like, I use Notion for planning out some of my videos. And I realized, like, as I was using it, it said, oh, you've reached your block limit. And I was trying to go in there and delete some stuff. And I did. I deleted quite a few folders, and it said I couldn't edit no more unless I upgraded. And I was just like, you have to upgrade everywhere. Why can't I just use this for free? It's not harming anybody. And it just sucks. It really does. And it honestly feels like, I guess, to pose the question, are we outsourcing parts of our identity? Which leads me into my final key point of personal reflection. I want you to sit down and just take a look at your subscription list and see what you got. If you have one subscription, kudos to you. You got about 5, 6, 7, 11, we got a problem. I don't want to tell you that you have problems, but I want you to realize, like, hey, this is a lot of subscriptions. I might need to cut back on some of these things because it's really taking a toll on me and my bank account. Take a look at them, see which ones add value, and see which ones are just there. And they're just taking up space and it's taking money out your bank account. Have you ever canceled one? And if you have, has it just felt like so free to just do. And it's just like, wow, this just saved me an extra $10, $20 every month. I love that for me. That's so great. But honestly, it's not just our bank accounts taking a hit. I feel like it's our time, our autonomy, and our attention. I want to ask you this. What is one subscription that you've been holding on to because you love it and it's going to take a minute to let go? Whatever that is, drop that in the comments. I'm actually very curious to know which one it is because I feel like for me, it's Spotify. I'm trying to... It's hard because I don't have like a media player on me to just go download music to and create these playlists all over again. And Spotify's just right there. I got all my playlists. I got my dreamy playlist, my running playlist. I have just all of the different playlists that are accessible right then and there. And there it goes. The flexibility, the accessibility, the, what do you call it? Convenience. So there it goes. And I hate that. One day we will fix it. I'm curious, what is the subscription that you're holding on to? And you just like, I don't know, Taylor, I can't let this one go right now. So I conclude this by saying, take back what's yours. Unsubscribe everywhere. I know that's hard, so you don't have to do that immediately. But just reclaim your time, reclaim your money back. Let's talk about it. Let's see what are some ways that we can just get out of this recurring revenue model going towards these companies and just burning through our pockets. I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation about the lovely subscriptions. I hope that you did enjoy this talk and hopefully we can engage in some conversations in the comments and honestly just see where we can go from here. But thanks for listening to me yap about some of the things that are on my mind. I feel like I always have these conversations with other people and I'm just like, you know what? Let me make it into a video. Let's see how other people feel about this. If you want to tune in to more videos, just like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to subscribe, there will be more in store. And hopefully we can engage in some more conversation and go from there. So thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.